The sun rose over Earth, casting a warm light across the landscape. Little did the people know that this beautiful day would soon turn into a nightmare. In the dark depths of space, a massive spaceship approached Earth. This was no ordinary ship. It belonged to a powerful alien empire known for conquering planets. They believed they could easily take over Earth. The alien leader, Commander Zarnak, sat in his command chair, looking at the screens filled with information about Earth. "Prepare the poisonous metals for deployment," he ordered his crew. They were confident that these toxic metals would defeat the humans without any trouble. The aliens had studied Earth and thought humans were weak, unprepared for an invasion. They had no idea how wrong they were. As the alien ship entered Earth's atmosphere, the people below began to notice something strange. A dark shadow covered the sun, causing confusion and fear. The sky filled with strange shapes as the alien ships hovered above cities. Panic spread quickly. People ran to their homes, locking doors and shutting windows. They had never seen anything like this before. In a small town, a group of friends gathered in a basement trying to make sense of what was happening. Sarah, a bright and curious teenager, looked out the window. "What are those things?" she asked, her heart racing. Her friend Mike, who loved reading about space, answered, "I think they're aliens. We need to warn everyone." They knew they had to act quickly. Meanwhile, Commander Zarnak ordered his forces to begin the attack. They unleashed their poisonous metals, expecting humans to fall to the ground in fear. The metals, designed to disrupt human biology, rained down from the sky. The aliens watched eagerly, waiting for the humans to collapse. However, what happened next stunned them. Instead of collapsing, many humans began to resist the effects of the metals. Some showed remarkable strength, moving despite the toxic rain. Scientists and doctors quickly studied the effects of the poisonous metals on humans, trying to understand why they were surviving. They discovered that humans had a unique ability to fight against toxins. This news spread quickly among the people, igniting a spark of hope. Back at the alien ship, Commander Zarnak was furious. "How is this possible?" he shouted, slamming his fist on the console. His officers scrambled to find answers. They had never faced such resistance before. The aliens had expected an easy victory, but now they were starting to doubt their power. As the day progressed, humans began to unite. News spread of people standing strong against the invaders. Teams of scientists, engineers, and brave civilians gathered to find ways to protect their homes and families. They shared ideas and strategies, discovering that they could create shields and barriers against the poisonous metals. This teamwork and determination were new to the aliens. They had not expected humanity to fight back so fiercely. In one city, a group of brave individuals set out to confront the aliens. They wore makeshift armor made from whatever they could find: old metal sheets, thick clothing, and even kitchen utensils. They were determined to defend their home. As they approached an alien landing site, they heard the humming of alien machinery and the voices of the invaders. Their hearts raced, but they pressed on, fueled by the desire to protect their loved ones. Meanwhile, Commander Zarnak ordered a second wave of attacks, thinking more force would break the humans' spirit. He believed the humans were just delaying the inevitable. But as the second wave hit, the aliens noticed something strange. More humans were fighting back, and they were becoming more organized. The aliens were beginning to realize that they had miscalculated their plan. As night fell, the humans prepared for a long fight. They had discovered a strength they never knew they possessed. They knew the aliens had underestimated them, and they were ready to prove their worth. The battle for Earth had just begun, and both sides were in for a shocking fight. In this moment of chaos and confusion, hope began to rise among the humans. They were no longer just victims. They were warriors, ready to defend their planet. The aliens may have arrived with confidence, but they were about to learn a valuable lesson. Underestimating humanity could lead to dire consequences. As the sun rose on another day, the battle for Earth continued. The alien ships hovered ominously in the sky, ready to unleash their toxic weapons again. But on the ground, humans were starting to fight back. They were no longer just reacting to the attacks, they were taking control of the situation. In a hidden underground lab, a group of scientists worked tirelessly. Among them was Dr. Mia Chen, a brilliant biologist who had dedicated her life to studying human resilience. She had been monitoring the effects of the poisonous metals on human bodies and had a breakthrough. "Look!" she exclaimed, pointing at the screens filled with data. Humans have a unique genetic trait that allows us to withstand these toxins better than we thought. Her colleagues gathered around, their eyes wide with hope. This is incredible, said Tom, a young engineer. If we can understand how it works, we might be able to enhance our defenses. They began to brainstorm ways to create protective gear that would amplify this natural resistance. Meanwhile, on the streets, groups of people started to unite. Neighborhoods banded together, sharing resources and knowledge. They held meetings to discuss strategies for fighting back against the invaders. Sarah, the teenager from the previous part, had become a key member of her community. "We need to work together," she said during one of their meetings. "If we combine our strengths, we can make a real difference." Inspired by her words, the group decided to create a network of resistance fighters. They set up watch teams to keep an eye on alien movements and shared news about their findings. Word spread about Dr. Mia's research, and more people began to volunteer to help in any way they could. As the humans organized themselves, they also began to develop new weapons. Using materials found around their homes, they created makeshift tools and defenses. They used old cars, pipes, and even kitchen items to build barricades and traps for the aliens. Their creativity blossomed as they worked together, turning everyday objects into tools of resistance. Back at the alien command ship, Commander Zarnak was growing increasingly frustrated. Reports from his scouts indicated that human resistance was strengthening. "Why won't they give up?" he demanded, slamming his fist on the table. "They should be cowering in fear." His officers exchanged worried glances, unsure how to explain the humans' unexpected resilience. Determined to regain control, Zarnak ordered another wave of attacks, this time with even more poisonous metals. He believed that the humans would crumble under the pressure. However, the humans were prepared. They had set up barriers and traps along the main roads leading into the city. As the alien forces advanced, they fell into these traps, allowing the humans to strike back. One group of resistance fighters, led by Sarah and Mike, positioned themselves on a rooftop to watch the alien advance. "They'll never see us coming," Mike said with a grin. They had set up a plan to use homemade explosives to disrupt the aliens' movements. As the first wave of alien troops moved closer, Sarah's heart raced. "Now!" she shouted. With a coordinated effort, they triggered their traps. Explosions rang out, scattering the alien troops and sending them into disarray. The humans cheered as they saw their plan succeed. For the first time, they felt a sense of victory. They realized that they could fight back and make a difference. In the aftermath of the attack, the humans regrouped to assess their situation. "We did it! We actually pushed them back!" one of the fighters exclaimed, still shaking with adrenaline. Dr. Mia's research had given them hope, and their unity had made them stronger. They understood that the aliens had underestimated their will to survive. As night fell, the humans celebrated their small victories, but they knew the fight was far from over. They continued to share knowledge and ideas, enhancing their defenses and developing new strategies. They were no longer just individuals, they were a community united by a common goal. In the alien command ship, Zarnak stared at the monitors, realizing that he had a fierce enemy on his hands. The humans had shown strength he had never anticipated. The battle was heating up, and Zarnak understood that the coming days would be critical. The aliens would need to adapt quickly if they hoped to regain their advantage. As the humans continued to strengthen their resolve, a new energy filled the air. They were discovering their strength, and for the first time they believed they could win. The fight for Earth was just beginning, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With each passing day, the atmosphere on Earth shifted from fear to determination. The humans, united and strong, were ready to take the fight to the aliens. Their earlier victories inspired everyone, and now they were eager to strike back against the invaders. They had discovered their strength and were prepared to defend their home at all costs. Dr. Mia Chen and her team worked day and night, analyzing the data they had collected on the poisonous metals. "We need to create a protective suit," she said one afternoon, her eyes bright with excitement. "If we can enhance our natural resistance, we can give our fighters an edge in battle." The scientists collaborated, using materials from their surroundings to design a suit that could shield humans from the worst effects of the alien toxins. Meanwhile, Sarah, Mike, and their group of resistance fighters trained hard. They practiced their tactics, becoming more coordinated and effective with each session. One evening, they gathered in a park to discuss their next move. "We've been defending our neighborhoods, but we need to take the fight to them," Sarah urged her friends. "We need to hit one of their supply ships and disrupt their operations." Everyone nodded in agreement. The plan was risky, but they had no choice. The aliens had to feel the humans' power. They spent hours discussing the logistics and came up with a detailed plan to attack an alien supply drop scheduled for the following night. As night fell, the group set out, armed with their makeshift weapons and protective gear. The streets were eerily quiet, and the only sounds were the distant hum of alien ships. The group moved carefully, avoiding detection as they approached the supply area. "Stay low and be quiet," Mike whispered, leading the way. When they reached the site, they hid behind crates and barrels, watching the aliens unload their supplies. The aliens were busy and unaware of the humans lurking nearby. "Now's our chance," Sarah said, taking a deep breath. With a nod from the group, they sprang into action. The humans rushed forward, using their traps to surprise the aliens. They triggered homemade explosives, sending shockwaves through the area. The aliens panicked, trying to figure out what was happening. The humans fought fiercely, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. They used slingshots, thrown rocks, and anything they could find to disrupt the aliens' operations. Zarnak, watching from his command ship, received reports of the attack. "What is happening down there?" he shouted, his anger rising. His officers scrambled to respond, but the humans were quick and organized. They managed to take out several alien guards, pushing deeper into the supply area. The fight was intense, but the humans refused to back down. They had come too far to lose. As the battle raged on, more humans joined the fray, emboldened by their success. They fought with determination, using their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. The aliens were caught off guard and struggled to regain control. During the chaos, Sarah spotted a larger supply crate labeled toxic metals. "This is it!" she shouted, rallying her friends. They rushed toward the crate, hoping to destroy the source of the aliens' power. As they reached it, Mike pulled out a makeshift incendiary device. "We can blow it up," he said, his voice filled with urgency. With seconds to spare, they set the device and retreated to a safe distance. The explosion lit up the night sky, sending debris flying everywhere. The humans cheered, their spirits soaring as they watched the alien supplies burn. The aliens, in shock and confusion, were forced to retreat. The humans had successfully struck a significant blow against their enemies. As dawn broke, the resistance fighters regrouped. Exhausted but exhilarated, they realized what they had accomplished. They had stood up to the invaders, faced their fears, and won. "We did it!" Sarah shouted, her voice filled with joy. "We showed them that we won't back down." News of their victory spread quickly throughout the city. More and more people joined the resistance, eager to help in any way they could. The humans had transformed from scared victims into brave warriors, united by their love for their home and their determination to fight back. As the aliens regrouped, Commander Zarnak realized he was facing an unexpected enemy. The humans were not only resilient, they were clever, brave, and willing to stand up for themselves. The tide of war was turning, and Zarnak knew that the aliens would have to adapt if they hoped to maintain their control over Earth. The humans had proven that they could fight back, and this was only the beginning. The time had come. After weeks of fighting and growing stronger, the humans were ready for their final confrontation with the alien forces. News of their victories had spread far and wide, rallying more people to the cause. No longer just a ragtag group of resistance fighters, they had become a formidable army, united in their determination to reclaim their planet. Dr. Mia Chen and her team had worked day and night, perfecting the protective suits that would give the humans a fighting chance against the alien toxins. As they prepared for the battle, she addressed the fighters gathered in the underground lab. "This is it," she said, her voice steady. "We have to strike at the heart of the alien command. If we can take down their leader, we can weaken their forces. We've come too far to stop now." Excitement and nerves filled the air as everyone suited up, ready to face the challenge ahead. Sarah, Mike, and their friends exchanged determined glances. They understood the risks, but they were fueled by the hope of victory. As they emerged from the lab, they were met with a sea of fighters, all wearing the same protective suits. The sight filled them with courage. Under the cover of darkness, the united forces moved toward the alien command ship. They were armed with improvised weapons, explosives, and a fierce determination to win. Each step brought them closer to their goal. The aliens had set up barriers and patrols, but the humans had learned to navigate their territory. As they approached the ship, Sarah spotted a group of aliens guarding the entrance. We need to create a diversion, she whispered to Mike. Together they came up with a plan. They threw rocks and set off small explosives away from their position, drawing the aliens' attention. The guards moved to investigate, leaving the entrance unprotected. "Now!" Mike shouted, and the group dashed toward the ship. They slipped inside, breathing heavily with a mix of fear and adrenaline. The interior was dark and cold, with strange lights flickering overhead. They crept through the corridors, staying alert for any sign of the enemy. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared, and the lights turned red. "They know we're here!" Sarah cried, panic rising in her chest. But there was no turning back now. They pressed on, following the signs that led to the command center. The sound of alien voices grew louder as they neared their destination. In the command center, Commander Zarnak stood, watching the monitors displaying the chaos outside. His frustration boiled over as he saw the humans infiltrating his ship. "Send the troops," he ordered, his voice echoing through the room. But before the orders could be executed, Sarah and her team burst through the door. "Stop right there!" Sarah shouted, brandishing her weapon. The alien commander turned, surprised to see the humans daring to confront him. "You will pay for your insolence!" he bellowed, his eyes flashing with anger. The humans quickly surrounded Zarnak, but he was not without his own defenses. With a wave of his hand, he signaled the alien guards to attack. The room erupted into chaos as the humans and aliens clashed in a fierce battle. Mike fought bravely, taking down one guard after another while Sarah focused on Zarnak. "This is for everyone you hurt," she yelled, lunging at him. Zarnak dodged her attack, retaliating with a blast of energy from his weapon. But Sarah was quick, ducking and rolling out of harm's way. Dr. Mia, who had followed them into the command center, joined the fight. She had brought a new device that emitted a frequency designed to disrupt the aliens' technology. "I need to get close to the main console," she shouted over the noise. Sarah and Mike created a barrier around her, fending off attackers while she worked. As the battle raged on, the humans began to gain the upper hand. Their training and determination showed as they fought with everything they had. The alien guards were no match for their spirit. One by one, the aliens fell and the humans pushed closer to Zarnak. Finally, Dr. Mia activated her device, sending a pulse through the command center. The lights flickered and Zarnak staggered back, disoriented. "What have you done?" he shouted, panic in his voice. This was the opening Sarah needed. With a swift motion, she charged at Zarnak, her weapon raised. In a final confrontation, she tackled him to the ground. "This is for Earth!" she yelled, pinning him down. The fight was fierce, but the humans' determination was unbreakable. With Zarnak captured, the remaining aliens realized they were outmatched. The humans had fought back with heart and strength, proving their resilience. As the last of the alien guards surrendered, the command center fell silent. Breathless and bruised, Sarah and her friends looked around at their fellow fighters. They had done it. They had won. The battle for Earth had reached its climax, and they had emerged victorious against all odds. As they stood together, they knew that this was just the beginning of a new era for humanity. The sun rose over the horizon, casting a warm golden glow on the battle-scarred land. The sounds of celebration echoed through the streets as the people of Earth rejoiced. The war against the aliens was over, and humanity had emerged victorious. Their courage and determination had saved their planet from destruction, and now it was time to rebuild. In the days following the battle, Sarah, Mike, Dr. Mia Chen, and their fellow fighters were hailed as heroes. They had risked everything to protect their home and had succeeded against a powerful enemy. News of their victory spread across the globe, inspiring millions. Communities came together to honor the fallen, celebrate the living, and remember the struggle they had faced. As Sarah walked through her neighborhood, she saw the faces of her friends and neighbors filled with hope. Children played in the streets, and families gathered for meals, laughter echoing in the air. It was a stark contrast to the fear that had gripped the world just weeks before. She felt a swell of pride knowing that they had fought not just for themselves, but for everyone. One afternoon, the leaders of the resistance organized a gathering in the town square. They wanted to honor the bravery of all those who had fought against the alien invasion. Sarah stood beside Dr. Mia, watching as people filled the square. "This is amazing," she said, her heart full. "We've really done it." Dr. Mia nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "But we must also think about the future. The aliens may be gone, but their technology remains. We need to learn from it and ensure we are ready for anything. As the crowd quieted, one of the leaders stepped up to the podium. "Today we celebrate our victory," he shouted, raising his arms to the sky. The crowd erupted in cheers, and the atmosphere was electric with excitement. "We have shown that humanity is strong, united, and unbreakable." The crowd listened intently as the leader spoke of the challenges ahead. "We must come together to rebuild our cities, restore our lands, and create a future that we can all be proud of. Let us use the knowledge we gained during the war to advance our technology and protect our planet." Inspired, Sarah felt a new purpose filling her heart. "We can create a better world," she whispered to Mike. "We have to make sure that what happened to us never happens again." In the weeks that followed, the people of Earth worked tirelessly to rebuild. They cleared debris from the cities, repaired homes, and set up new systems to ensure safety. Scientists and engineers collaborated to study the alien technology they had captured. Dr. Mia led a team focused on understanding how the aliens had used poisonous metals as weapons and how to counteract them. While working in the lab, Dr. Mia often reflected on the importance of knowledge and understanding. "We cannot let fear dictate our future," she told her team. "We must use what we have learned to grow stronger and wiser." As the world began to heal, Sarah and Mike decided to take a different approach to protect their planet. They established a new organization called Earth Guardians, dedicated to monitoring the skies and preparing for any potential threats. They trained volunteers from around the world, teaching them the skills needed to defend their home. "Together we can make sure that Earth is never caught off guard again," Sarah told the first group of trainees. "We need to be ready for anything, but we must also be prepared to offer help to others. We are all part of this universe." As the months passed, the Earth Guardians grew in number and influence. They became a symbol of hope and resilience, showing that humanity could adapt and thrive. People from different nations came together, sharing their cultures and ideas and forging strong bonds in the process. The world had changed, and for the better. In a meeting with leaders from various countries, Sarah stood confidently at the podium. "We must remember what we've gone through," she said, her voice steady. "But we should also look forward with hope. Let us work together, not just as nations, but as a united planet." Her words inspired many, and discussions flourished about cooperation, exploration, and mutual support. The alliance formed among nations led to advancements in technology, medicine, and environmental protection. As the sun set over the horizon, casting vibrant colors across the sky, Sarah stood on a hill overlooking her town. She reflected on the journey they had taken together. From fear to strength, from darkness to light, humanity had triumphed. In that moment, she understood that this was not just the end of a battle, it was the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where humanity was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They were united, strong, and more determined than ever to protect their home and create a brighter future for generations to come.